Okay, so let's start. Good morning to everyone. My name is Álvaro Mocholi. I'm responsible for international sales from the company Grecom Technology. I am also the general manager of the company, and I'm going to be the person that is going to be conducting today's webinar for you guys. Just to let you know that the webinar is being recorded. The idea is to share the link to the webinar, to the video, and then also to the presentation once the webinar is finished. So for those that are registered for the webinar but were not able to attend, will be able to review all the information. Okay, so let's start all over. First of all, I would like to do a brief introduction of our company. Grecom Technologies was founded in 2005, and we are a company that is very specialized in developing real-time analytics, and we are very specialized on thermal and thermographic thermal imaging solutions. That is our biggest area of expertise, and that is where most of the solutions that we have developed have been aiming to. Currently, we have over 30 different analytics developed. Okay, most of them, I mean, there's some solutions that has been developed together with some partners. And then also there is some solutions that has been developed by us exclusively. We export to 64 countries. So our biggest areas of the most consolidated markets for us will be the Middle East, South America, North America, South Europe. And Asia Pacific is becoming recently one of the emerging markets for us. And then also what we can do is we can offer the entire chain of value. What this means is that since we are developers, what we can do is we have our own R&D department that, besides developing our own solutions and the solutions that our customers are demanding, also we are capable to tailor-made or to customize the solutions according to the project requirements. So that gives us a very big advantage versus some other algorithms or some other analytics that are available on the market that are very unflexible, let's call it. Also, we have an integration department which is responsible for integrating all our solutions with new cameras coming up on the market, new VMSs, new security platforms, access control platforms and devices, and so on. So basically what we do is whenever there is a project and there is a new integration, usually what we do is we take care, we make sure that we do all the integration and that the solution is compatible with that existing security systems on site. The price of our licenses includes setup, remote setup, and configuration and fine-tuning. So until the solution is not working as the customer is expecting, we will not stop. So this is kind of like a turnkey solution. And then also we have our after sales and pre-sales department. The pre-sales department basically is responsible for confirming that everything is deployed on the right place, aiming on the right place. So all the cameras, the connection with the VM, with the servers and so on, it is correctly done in a way that we can guarantee the performance of the analytics. And then also what we do is we have the after sales department, which is responsible for attending any bugs or any problems that might show up with the analytics. And then also with critical infrastructures, in most of the cases, they hire from us the project maintenance. So what we do is we periodically revise the solutions and make sure that all the cameras and all the analytics are working as expected. And then in case that we detect any anomalies or we see that one of the cameras is triggering more alarms than usual, what we do is we analyze why, and then what we do is we adjust it in a way that the whole system is performing as the end user expectancies or as the end user is expecting. Okay, now I'm gonna do a very brief resume of all the different solutions that we have available. Okay, so we have solutions for perimeter surveillance. Then here we can divide it in two main groups. One of them will be with thermal imaging cameras, and one of them will be with day and night cameras. We will be talking about this solution later on. Okay, we have marine surveillance. All the solutions here work with thermal imaging cameras and is also available for fixed or PTC cameras. Then we have the VMS. In this case, we have two VMSs. We have a traditional VMS, which is Engato VMS, and then we have Aware, which has artificial intelligence. I will explain you later on more in depth. Then we have the cybersecurity. This is a data loss prevention solution. Basically, here what we're doing is we are monitoring all the workstations and making sure that all the employees are following the IT policy of the company. So just to guarantee that they don't jeopardize the security and the information and the data from the company. They don't put on jeopardy. Also, we have solutions for the facial recognition. So we have access control, face mask detection, capacity control, demographic analysis, loyalty programs, criminal identification, VIP identification, ticket validation. Well, there's multiple solutions or multiple functionalities that we can do with the face recognition. And then on the automation and safety, maybe is the area where more solutions we have here. I'll show you the most demanded ones, which is the personal protective equipment monitor. So here, basically, this is a solution that we're going to be also talking today. This is a solution just to monitor or to guarantee that all the employees are wearing the right equipment. Cell monitor, this is for solar plants, just to detect which solar panels are working as expected and which ones are not working correctly. The flame monitoring is for the oil and gas, just to monitor the stacks and the flames on the oil fields. And tank monitor is just to monitor the capacity of the oil tanks or gas tanks and so on. The transformer or substation monitoring, this is a solution that is recently been very demanded, and is to monitor the substations, the power energy or the electrical power substations or gas power substations. And here what we do is we are monitoring 24/7 and just making sure that all the key components of that substation are performing as expected. The engine monitor, this is a solution that we use for manufacturing processes. So here what we're doing is we are detecting overheating components. Leak detector, this is for the oil and gas. So basically we use it more often for gas leakages. And the catenary is just to monitor the catenary infrastructure on the railways. Also, we have solutions for fire prevention. We have the temp threshold for industrial scenarios and the watchman for wild forest. And then we have retail analytics, that is what we call it on trace. And this is just to monitor all the activity inside the retail business or shops, restaurants, and so on. Okay, so let's start with today's webinar. We're going to divide today's webinar in two main sections. One of them is going to be the security solutions, and the second one is going to be safety. Okay, so let's start with the security. Okay, the first solution that we would like to introduce you is the Aware. This is a VMS with artificial intelligence. Has been certified by the ISO 27001, and then also was the Red Dot winner on 2021 as the smarter solution out of the market. Okay, what is the main difference between a traditional VMS and a VMS with artificial intelligence? Okay, basically, traditional VMS, what it's doing is recording 24 hours, 7 days a week. And then also what it's doing is recording all the alerts of all the different analytics that are connected to that VMS in a way that the operator can manage and can react or can manage all the alarms, okay? A VMS with artificial intelligence, what it does is at the same time as the VMS is recording, it is also classifying the objects. That means, for example, imagine that we are in a parking lot and there is a car coming in. I mean, the VMS automatically, what is going to record is the license plate number, the color of the car, the type of car, and the model of the car. Okay, in case that is a human, what it's going to do is going to record the face so we can later on detect or search by similarity. Also, it's going to record the gender. It's going to record the type of clothing. So if it's short, long jeans, short sleeves, long sleeves, and then also it's going to record the color of the clothing. Okay, so all that is being done automatically, and that is going to bring us a very big help. It's going to help us to do forensic search. So that means that imagine that we're looking for a specific person or on an area. Basically, what we have to do is we have to upload the image or the face of that person, and then automatically the system is going to give us, or it's going to bring us all the images that are very similar to the image that we are searching for. And you can do the same by the color of the clothing, by the type of the clothing, by license plate number, type of car, model of the car, color of the car. So there is multiple search tools that you can search. Also, the good thing about these analytics is that on the price of the license, besides the recording and the interface, also includes the analytics. So you have 4 different analytics running simultaneously. You have the license plate recognition, face recognition, perimeter surveillance, and sound analytics. Sound analytics is basically when there is a fire alarm or emergency door alarm, or there is glass breaking, or there is a fight, people yelling, and so on. So the cameras or the analytics automatically is going to be able to detect it. So you can it's going to trigger the alarm. So this VMS can work on real time. So what you can do is you can set up the analytics, and then whenever something happens, automatically it's going to pop up on your VMS. So you're going to be able to operate and manage the event or the alarm. And then also you can work offline. That means that imagine that you have one camera that there is no analytics running over. What you can do is later on over that video, configure the analytics. For example, let's call it a line crossing or abandoned object or so on. And then you can detect it, or you can analyze the video offline. Also, you have people tracking with this VMS. So always, as long as the person is on the field of view of the camera, you're going to be able to track it down throughout all the premise, all the facility. So imagine that we are in a building and there's one person entrance. So we want to know exactly how that people move within the facility. So always, as long as that person has been on the field of view of the cameras, we can have a tracking of that person, even on different floors. Also, you can have heat maps, and then you can also have on real time, you can also have tracking of people. Here is how the architecture of the VMS works. We can have our own cameras, or we can use it with third cameras. Okay, the key advantage of using our own cameras is that the analytics and the recording is embedded into the camera. So you will not need, although you can, but you will not need any servers. So you can directly connect the cameras through the cloud and access to the real-time streaming, or you can access to the videos through our interface, always as long as you are connected to the internet. Okay, also in case that there is a facility that the cloud option is not available or is not suitable, you can also use the server base. So you can connect it to the server. So there is no interaction with the cloud. And then in order to access to the real-time streaming or to the recordings, always as long as you have a workstation connected to the same network, you will be able to access to that information. In case that we go to a project where the cameras are already deployed, but you want to bring more intelligence into it, we can also do it. The only thing that you will need to do is to deploy what we call it the cloud connector. Basically, this is a server where the analytics and the recording is being hosted. Okay. So, and as we say before, in order to access to that videos, or in order to access to the recordings, you can do it through any workstation that is connected to the same network as the server. Okay, so here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you a video of this solution.
Welcome to AvaWare. Today we're going to cover search. Search is a tool that allows us to search for specific events that may have occurred across one or multiple cameras. This allows us to search for things like the appearance of a person or a vehicle, a line cross event where a vehicle or a person has crossed a specific virtual line that we've drawn, loitering events where a person or a vehicle may have been stationary for too long in one place, indicating something like an idling vehicle that may be outside of a loading dock or outside of an airport, or a person that may just be acting suspiciously in an area that they should not be. We can also alert on sound detection, and this leverages the onboard sound detection in our AvaWare cameras that can detect things like glass breaks, loud noises, smoke alarms, and many more audio models that are being added with each release. So, for example, if we were to create a line cross search, what we can do is we can choose what kind of objects we want to search for. We can stick with any or go down to a specific person. This person can be specified based on gender or based on the attire that they're wearing in the top or the lower quadrant of their body, and you can combine both colors as well, looking for people in uniforms or based on a description that was given by a third party. We can also leverage an image. If someone has captured a cell phone image of this person or vehicle, we can upload that in order to do a search based on these detections. Then we can choose where we want to do this detection. So this detection can take place, for example, on a camera in a parking lot. It could also happen inside of a building. So if we were looking for people that may have been in front of a register, we can choose one or multiple cameras and then choose the line that we want these objects to be crossing in order to qualify for the detection. We can choose the direction of travel of this object. And in the case of something like a convenience store, if we're just looking for anyone that is walking out, as this person just did in this example, we can unclick the entering direction so that we're only looking for the direction of travel out the door. And then we can choose the time period that we're searching for. This can be anywhere from specific minutes down to a block of time that may be days or hours. And in our case, when we're just looking for the last 30 minutes worth of search, we're presented with all of the events that correspond to our search criteria. So in our case, we're looking for people that are exiting. And if I highlight over that video, we're going to see the people that are exiting. I can click into this video to see it in greater detail. This will allow me to see not only the event that occurred, but the object within our floor plan as that user exits this building. I can then click to act on that activity. But we can also see in our parking lot as a person was crossing that virtual line that we created. So this allows us to very quickly get to the events that matter to us and then act on them. These different video clips that we have captured here can then be exported. So we can take the relevant information by clicking the plus, and we can choose to share or save. So we can export this as an MP4. We can share this as a publicly accessible link. We can bookmark it so that these video clips do not get deleted by typical retention. And of course, we can also do similarity searches if we want to look for people that are similar to the objects that have been detected in these environments. Now, you're also presented with the ability to create a rule. We have a whole nother section dedicated to creating rules based off of searches as well as other parameters. I implore you to check that.
Here, we usually, for this type of solutions, we usually deploy it for access control solutions. And then what are the key advantages of the solution that we are offering? Okay, from the accuracy point of view, we can offer a 99.87% accuracy. This is a figure that has been certified by the NIST, which is the National Institute of Standards and Technology. And then also with people with face masks, we can guarantee a 98.6% of accuracy. We have our own API, and then also we have the SDK in case that we need to integrate it with an existing platform or security platform or VMS. It's compatible with all the operating systems, Windows, Mac, Linux, Android, iOS. This can be used with any camera, always as long as has a high definition solution, and always as long as it's an IP camera. That is follows all the privacy regulations, especially the European and the US regulations. This is where we are more focused on. All the data is encrypted in a way that no one can access. And then in case that you want to do demographic analysis, there is no data, there is no information sharing. Basically, the analytics is being done in real time. So there is just data, there is no personal data being used. Also, it's very flexible. You can work on premise, or you can work on cloud, or you can also do it on hybrid. And it's very fast, it's very accurate, and it's very fast. This is the all the different algorithms that were tested by the NIST. And then on the upper right corner, you can see our solution. And then as you can see, is the one of the ones with less processing requirements. So that is, it makes us more competitive than other solutions on the market. And then also from the accuracy point of view, I mean, the requirements were to exceed a margin of error 0.285, and in our case, we achieve 0.0027. So that means that we have a lower false alarm than what they required. And then also from the speed on detecting, we were the fastest solution on the market. Okay, here we have two solutions. The one that I would like to show you is this scan. This is kind of like it's like a 10-inch by 10-inch device. It has a 3D camera, has an infrared lighting, a microphone, and a speaker. And then the good thing about this is that you can upload up to a database of 20,000 people per each one of these devices. It is compatible with OSDP and WeGAN, so pretty much you can integrate it with all the existing access control platforms. Also detects tailgating, so in case that someone is trying to come right behind a person that is authorized, the system is going to be able to detect it. Can work indoors or outdoors, and then also detects anti-spoofing. So imagine that someone is trying to supplant the identity of one person with a picture, with a video. The system is going to be able to distinguish between a real and a non-real face. That is the reason why the system includes or incorporates a 3D camera in a way that we can detect the when it's a flat image or when it's let's call it curvy, or yes, it's a curvy image. Okay. Has also, you can as we say, we have a speaker, so it has audio embedded. Okay. And then it supports dual and single factor authentication. So imagine that you don't want to use the image. You can also do it with a QR code or, okay. And then this solution is all runs embedded. Okay, so the way it works is basically you just deploy this system. It's very easy, it's very friendly to deploy it and to install it. And you just, you can, what you can do is you can upload all the permissions and all the people that has been granted access through any workstation or any device that is connected to the internet or to the network. Okay, so here what we can do is I'm going to show you a video on how this solution works. Okay, so this is how the device is.
Introducing SaferScan, the first full-featured intelligent biometric access control edge solution priced for broad-based applications. SaferScan is fast and touchless to expedite safe pedestrian traffic.
Even need to stop in front of it.
And SaferScan works as well in outdoor locations as it does inside, even in challenging lighting conditions. SaferScan's advanced algorithms and 3D liveness ensure accurate identification and authorized access, while unknown individuals will be rejected, and real-time alerts are automatically issued if tailgating is detected.
So automatically,
management reports capture every entry for audit and compliance reviews.
You will be
a self-contained PoE solution. SaferScan is also fast and easy to install. Plus, SaferScan works with leading access control platforms. High-performance biometric access control made affordable.
From the monitoring point of view, what we can do is we can have mass detection. We can
only
also
with
social
SaferScan.
distances, audience management, congestion prediction, suspect detection, counting people, activity monitoring. Activity monitoring means how people are moving, or let's call it heat maps. Directional analysis, how many people is coming in and coming out. This is a contactless, and you can also have the multi-factor authentication. From the facial recognition, of course, access control, VIP recognitions, subscription and activation of new customers or suppliers. This is sometimes in this type of infrastructure, sometimes it's a little bit tedious. So this really speeds up all the process. Recognition of suspects, and then also you can have liveness and anti-spoofing notification. And then in case also you want to do some demographic analysis, what you can do is you can classify all the people that pass by gender, and then also by age, and by sentiment or facial expression. So if the person is happy or if he's sad. You can also have heat maps, queuing time. You can calculate the dwell time, so that is the average time that the people spend inside the premise or inside the facility. Occupation panel, so this is kind of like a dashboard that is going to give you in real time exactly how many people are inside the premises, and it also can give you all the demographic analysis. And then also you can classify, for example, if there is you're in a hospital, let's call it, and there is a certain number of people over 65, you can also distinguish, or you can classify it. Okay, so we're gonna move to the next solution, which is the perimeter lockout or the perimeter surveillance. Here we have two solutions. We can work with thermal cameras, or we can work with day and night cameras, okay? On thermal cameras, we have one solution which is called Sentinel. This solution, the key advantage is the very long detection range. I mean, just to give you an idea, with a 60mm camera or with a 50mm camera, we will be able to detect between 450 to 550 meters. Okay, the key advantage is the very long range, so that means that we can reduce the number of cameras, we can reduce the civil work cost, and then also we can reduce the server infrastructure or the computing infrastructure. What is the disadvantage is that whenever you are detecting so far away from the camera, sometimes the objects are too small, so we don't have enough pixels to be able to classify and to identify. That is the tricky part, okay? Has multiple detection rules, so you can have intrusion, light crossing, prowling, abandoned object, okay? And then you can discriminate animals, vegetation, light changes, shadows, raindrops, and so on. And then another solution that we have is what we call it the perimeter lockout with artificial intelligence. This is a solution that in most of the cases we use it for short range detection. The key advantage of this solution is that auto classifies the object, so the rate of false alarms is very low. And then the disadvantage is that the detection range. Okay, so usually we use this solution for very critical infrastructures where false alarm rate has to be very low, and then this is a very accurate solution. And then on the outside ring, let's call it security ring, what we do is we deploy the Sentinel, which is a solution that can give us a very fast alert, and then we can anticipate when something is going to happen, okay? And then it's going to be much more cost effective, because what we can do is we can reduce the number of cameras. Both of these solutions can run embedded into Axis cameras, Hanwha cameras, and then these will be the two main manufacturers that we have embedded our solutions with, and then also can run on server base. Okay, always as long as the camera is an IP camera, we can work with it. And then as for VMS, we are integrated with all the main VMSs, Milestone, Genetec, Axis Camera Station, Avigilon, Pelco, DG4, Goitebrook, also Latitude from FLIR, Chameleon from FLIR. That's pretty much all the main. EDs also is we are integrated with. Okay, so here I'm going to show you a video of how the perimeter local works. Okay, so here, for example, here you can detect the person. As you can see, is carrying a dog, but the dog is being detected, but it's not being classified, so it's not triggering any alarms. Does not generate false alarms by light changes. Okay, does not generate false alarms by shadows, break drops on the lens, or insects on the lens. And this is the Sentinel, which is a very long-range detection. And as you can see here, for example, the center image is very shaky due to the wind, and it's not triggering alarms by the movement. Okay. And then on the other, for example, on the other, there is very low contrast, and still the solution is detecting a very long range. Okay, we're gonna move to the next solution, which is the marine surveillance. This is the Coast Guard. This is a solution to detect large and small vessels. Right now, this solution can only run server-based. The minimum target size is 2 pixels, so we can detect, let's call it a 50 feet boat. Let's call it maybe 2 miles away from the camera. Okay, it has very low false alarm rate. We always use thermal imaging cameras on this case, simply because it gives us more stability. As you know, day and night cameras on water scenarios, it is a little bit tricky because of the light reflection and the waves movement. So that is the reason why we use thermal imaging for this type of solution. Okay, it has multiple detection rules, does not generate false alarms by the waves. Okay, we can position the boats on UTM and GPS coordinates, so we can have a tracking and we can position all the boats, and it's integrated with all the main VMSs, as we say before Milestone, Genetec, EDs, Chameleon, Pelco, Avigilon, Axis Camera Station, and so on. Here I'm going to show you a video on how this solution works. And let me move a little bit forward so we know here. So as you can see here, for example, there is 3 boats, and here what we do is we are figuring out the coordinates, the GPS coordinates of all these 3 boats, and then we send it to the PTC camera for tracking. So, and as you can see, the camera is moving from one target to the other, and they are always on the center of the image. And then depending on how far away the object is from the camera, we give more or less zoom, okay? All this is being done automatically, okay? So, and as you can see, there is waves and there is light reflections, and still there is no false alarms with the waves, okay? Okay, now we're gonna move to the safety solutions. One of the solutions that we have recently developed is the flame monitoring solution. This is a solution that basically what it does is monitors the stacks, guarantees that the flare is light up 24 hours, 7 days a week. And then also what we do is we are monitoring the flame, and then also detecting whenever there is gas leakage or whenever the stack is emitting gas into the atmosphere and is not being burned out. Okay, this solution can run embedded into the Axis thermal cameras and also radiometric cameras. Also, the reporting and the configuration tool is all embedded into the camera. Okay. Has a multi-camera viewer, so you can monitor through the interface. You can monitor multiple cameras simultaneously. Okay, you have the dashboard. It's also embedded into the camera, so you will not need any server or any website separately. Okay, and then it's very easy access, and it's very friendly use. I mean, you can basically configure one of these solutions in less than 5 minutes. So it's very, very friendly use. Okay. Another one of the solutions that we have is the substation monitoring. This is a solution that we were talking earlier on, sorry. This is a solution here. Basically, what we're doing is we are monitoring all the key components on a power substation. So as you know, most of the substations currently, the way that the maintenance is being performed is periodically they send some maintenance crews, and what they do is they take manually the measurements of all the key components, level of oil, level of gas oil, level of gas, temperature of the key components, and so on. And then they enter manually into a database, and then it's being recorded. The problem is that sometimes the problem suddenly comes out or suddenly happens right after this crew people has visited the substation. So here what we are proposing is a solution that is monitoring 24 hours, 7 days a week. We use, in this case, radiometric cameras and also day and night cameras for level monitoring. And then here what we do is we are detecting all the key components. And then what we're doing is we are comparing all the key components with each other. So under the same atmospheric conditions and under the same performance conditions, we can see if any of the components is overheating versus the other ones. For example, what we can do is we can monitor all the different switches on the substation, or we can monitor all the batteries, or we can monitor all the transformers, or we can, all the key components. So what we can do, we monitoring, and then we compare it with each other. Whenever we see one of them is overheating versus the other one, that means that that component is going to have a problem on the short term. So with this solution, what we can do is we can anticipate to a major failure, and then not just anticipate to the problem, also is going to be very cost effective, because as you know, when there is a problem on the substation, usually is very costly. This solution can run on fixed or PTC cameras. Okay. Also, we have analysis offline. So what we do is we are recording all the images with the raw stream. So that means that you will be able to figure out the temperature of all the objects offline. So that you don't have to do it on real time. It is also compatible with all the main VMSs. Okay. And then also you have the simultaneous rotation and distance configuration. This is very important, because depending on how far away the object is from the camera, you need to correct the temperature reading. So this is kind of like a system that we have developed, that based on how far the distance, how far the object is from the camera, we can correct the temperature. So we know exactly the temperature of what it is. As you know, the temperature dissipates with the space. The farther the object is from the camera, the less accurate the reading is. So what we do is we correct that reading. Okay, another solution that we're going to be talking about is the temp threshold. This is the fire detection solution for industrial scenarios. So here, basically, what we do is we are monitoring all the objects that are on the field of view of the camera. And then what we do is we set up some temperature thresholds. So whenever any of those objects reaches that specific temperature threshold, we mark it. And then once we mark it, what we do is we analyze the behavior. As you know, in this case, in this kind of scenarios, in most of the cases, there is machinery moving around, there is people moving around. So basically what we do is we also monitor or analyze the behavior, okay? So what is monitoring the behavior is going to bring us? For example, a fire is going to be on the temperature threshold that we have set up the system for, but the fire stays pretty much fixed on a specific point, increases the size very rapidly, and then also increases the temperature very rapidly. This is what I mean by analyzing the behavior. On the other hand, for example, leaf fork might be on the same temperature threshold as the fire, but the temperature is steady and the object is moving throughout the field of view of the camera. So there is a totally two very different behaviors. So whenever we detect any anomalous behavior, what we do is we detect the temperature threshold, but we don't trigger the alarm, the fire alarm. And then whenever there is a fire, I mean, whenever it follows the behavior, is the one we trigger the fire alarm. Okay. Has multiple detection profiles. You can have there is a real-time reporting. Can work with fixed or PTC cameras. You can generate reports. Okay, you have also the heat emission and distance configuration. You can adjust the image. So basically, if you are working on a specific temperature, here what we're doing is we can adjust the image according to that temperature threshold in a way that all the objects that are over that temperature or below will not interfere on the image contrast. So it will be much easier for us to detect or to monitor. Has Boolean logic functions. That is what we use to monitor the behavior. You can do offline evaluation. Can also connect it with digital input and output models. Okay, and it's integrated with all the main VMSs. Here I'm going to show you, this is a biomass plan, but this is how the fire detection works. And as you can see, it took like around 2 to 3 seconds to detect it. So here is because what we do is, first of all, we generate the background of the image. And then secondly, what we do is we analyze everything that is moving or everything that radiates different from that background. And then what we do is we analyze the behavior. And then if the behavior matches with any of the criteria that we have set up the system for, that is when we trigger the alarm. Okay, now we're going to move to another solution, which is the personal protective equipment monitoring. So here, basically what we're doing is we guarantee that all the personnel before enters into the facilities are wearing the right equipment, such as helmets, reflecting vest, protective boots, protective glasses, audio protection equipment, and so on. Okay, so we have two different ways. You can do it on the access control, and then also what you can do is you can monitor the people meanwhile are on the work facilities. Okay, so you have a device for the access control. Okay, or you can deploy different cameras depending on what equipment you want to protect. Okay, this is the percentage of accuracy that we can guarantee. Helmet 98%, reflective vest 98, protective gloves 98, boots 90, glasses 90, and ear protector 95. And then also we have our own interface. Okay, so what we can do is we can monitor on real time all the personnel meanwhile are working on the area or on the workforce. Also, what we can do is we can do tracking for safety workers. So basically, here is we deployed a sticker that communicates through Wi-Fi, so we can exactly track down the people inside the facilities, and then also in case that there is any incident or any accident, so we can identify or we can know exactly where the people are and which ones or what was the last position of that specific person before an accident occurs. Okay, and then also you can do access control, so you can know exactly how many people is inside, how many people is outside. Also, you can do asset tracking, so especially for very critical assets or tools or instruments, so you can track it down and you can know exactly where they are. And then, so in case that someone forget it or loses, you can track it down. And this will be pretty much all the different solutions that we can offer for the critical infrastructures. Okay, here I'm gonna show you some success cases that we have executed on the last years. On the law and defense area, we have worked with the FBI, with the artificial intelligence VMS, and also with the data loss prevention solution. On the NATO headquarters, we have the access control. On Saudi Arabia, we are doing all the perimeter surveillance of the King Faisal Air Academy. On the Rota military base, which is a US and Spanish military base in south of Spain, we do all the perimeter surveillance, and also we do all the perimeter surveillance for all the military bases, Air Force, military, and Navy bases in Spain. On the oil and gas, we have been assigned as the recommended solution for perimeter surveillance embedded into access cameras. Also, we do the perimeter surveillance for Cepsa, which is the second largest oil company here in Spain. Repsol, which is the largest one, we do automation and safety for them. Basra, we do the flame monitoring in Iraq. Critical airports, we do Madrid International Airport, we do all the perimeter surveillance. Valencia Port, which is the largest port on the Mediterranean by container traffic, we do all the monitoring of all the anchor area and also the access into the port. Here we have also the Trillo nuclear plant. We're also doing the perimeter surveillance. Al Waqba Palace in Qatar, we do the perimeter. So these are all the different solutions. As for distributors, we work with all the main distributors, Anixter, Ingram, ADI, also Tech Data, okay, ScanSource, okay, and then installers, we work with all the main installers in the market, okay. And also here, what I would like to do is I would like to present you the partner program. This is for all the companies that want to become a partner of us and want to resell or distribute our solutions into their markets. So we have a portal, or we have like an interface where, you can upload your projects, you can generate invoice, you can generate orders, and then you can also have access to all the commercial information. Okay, so here is the website, and then this will be all the information that I can share with you for today for critical infrastructures. Here you have my contact details, you have my mobile telephone number, and also you have my email address. In case that you want to contact me, you can do it through any of these two contact details. And then also in case that you want to request a demo or request an online video call, you can also do it through our website. You can have access to my agenda, and also you can have access to the demo licenses. So right now, we'll be very happy to answer any questions that you might have. You can either activate your microphone, or you can do it through the chat. So in case that you have any questions, please feel free to do. I will be very happy to respond to as many questions as you guys have. No one has any questions? Also, the solutions, what is the most popular analytics that you deploy? The most demanded solutions is perimeter surveillance, because this is where most of the critical infrastructures, they invest most of the money. But recently, safety and automation is becoming very, very demanded. And then also the access control solutions is very demanded. So the highest growth right now, I will say that is the power substation monitoring. That is one of the most demanding solutions. Okay. And then, so I will say that the most demanded solutions are the VMS, the VMS with artificial intelligence, perimeter surveillance, access control, and then automation and safety solutions will be the most demanding ones. Okay, there is here, there is another question that Justin did. How many eye cameras on each server? I mean, we have servers that can support up to 200 cameras. So we have our own servers. So depending on the volume of cameras, what we do is we customize the server. Okay. Usually more than 200, what we do is we usually deploy several servers. Okay. So, but it all depends on the budget and also depends on the requirements from the client. But I mean, what we can do is we can customize the servers according to the needs. So Justin, have you deployed in a private cloud infrastructure for the Middle East market? We can deploy it on, I mean, usually we use Amazon Web Services, but and then also some other cloud services. But in case that we need to use a local, we can